Come on, Peter. Let's just do it.
It's often hard to gauge how long a horror film will stick with you. Some popcorn efforts have you leaping in your seat, but barely leave an impression that lasts beyond the lobby. Others can leave you appreciative of the art and execution, but questioning as to how it affected you, if at all. You puzzle about them on the train ride home and talk them through over dinner with the family. You quietly process each scene and image, allowing your mind to pore over their ideas and themes until night rolls in. A night that carries with it a lasting sense of unease. And while you lie wide awake in the wee hours of the morning, the impact of that art dawns on you. Anxious and unsettled, you close your eyes and wait until sunrise. That is the power of horror. It's not just the thrill of the ride as you cling to your cinema seat at the turn of every corner or blur of a sudden noise, which when properly executed is an art of its own. Horror is also the slowly mounting dread that roots itself deep and for a time after the credits and heads have long since rolled. It is the seed of an idea waiting to bloom into something quietly terrifying. I suspect Hereditary has planted that seed, but I won't find out until that long night creeps in. Hereditary opens with the death of a grandmother. This information is delivered to us plainly via an obituary plastered across the screen. All seems rather mundane about this death, but as the life surrounding this once matriarch unravels, sinister secrets are revealed. Secrets that may have been inherited by her daughter Annie and granddaughter Charlie. As Annie's sense of grief and loss intensifies, she grows terrified of the fate that may await both herself and her family. Or is this all the workings of an emotionally traumatized mind? For a large portion of Hereditary's runtime, we are left in the dark. Annie is an artist who constructs dollhouses depicting neutral perspective tableaus of emotionally salient points in her life. The deliberate camera work constantly reminds us that we're never quite sure what we're viewing is another well-constructed tableau from within the mind of an emotionally unstable mother, or something altogether more supernatural. Continuing production house A24's trend for crafting meditative horror, boasting a roster that includes Under the Skin, The Witch and It Comes at Night, writer-director Ari Aster makes a powerful statement with his feature debut. Both a harrowing family drama that tackles themes of grief, loss and issues of mental health, and a more cinematic horror dealing with subjects such as the occult and possession, Hereditary proves an incredibly tough film to categorise. That is why it grabs your attention. There's an unpredictability to the film in its first two acts, as you're left wondering quite where this road is heading. In the rare moment Aster allows you to outrun the narrative, leading us to our own conclusions with a few well-placed breadcrumbs. Aster demonstrates his control over us with hideously brutal impact. But to spoil just how this sudden turn presents itself is to snatch away a portion of Hereditary's dark charm, and one of horror cinema's most nerve-rattling scenes in years. And well executed Hereditary is, as its expertly composed camera work and unsettling sound design yield incredible results, wringing tension from even the most seemingly mundane of exchanges. Yet it is the work of actors Toni Collette and Alex Wolff, respectively the mother and son at the centre of Hereditary's cast, that succeed in ensuring that this tension grips us. Though accolades will surely and deservingly fall to Collette, who delivers yet another career-defining performance in the genre, Wolff also holds his own against her captivating theatrics in his quiet portrayal of an emotionally shattered teenager lost in his own family. And a special mention to Millie Shapiro, who delivers an unsettling and instantly iconic performance as Charlie, the Graham family's blackest of sheep. For a film obsessed with lineage, it makes sense that Hereditary feels like it's drawing from a host of iconic horror films from across the 70s and 80s that to name would actually be spoiling the fun. But like A24's critically acclaimed The Witch, this is very much another stab at Kubrickian horror, at least in terms of pace and structure. However, Hereditary may prove to be the more accessible example of the two, as the slow build of tension eventually erupts into unrestrained insanity and terror. If anything, Aster spends a little too much time slowly moving the pieces into place in preparation for this explosion of violence, as it does sometimes feel like the deliberately paced narrative is an excuse for the writer thinking between moves. And some of those moves are perhaps a little too obvious in their placement, with some examples of heavy exposition standing out against an otherwise drip feed of information. But these are minor quibbles that Hereditary's headless corpse rises far above. The headlines have described Aster's film as the next The Exorcist. And although it's easy to understand why A24 have leaned into such an easy marketing line, it unfortunately does the film little favour. Hereditary is not the next The Exorcist, nor is it The Shining, or even The Witch. Instead, Ari Aster's unnerving and upsetting tale of emotional trauma and mental fragility might be the film that future art house horrors draw their comparisons to. And I award Hereditary 4.5 stars.